Lightworker of Gaia, your field is speaking, and what it is registering right now is not confusion. It is clarity. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy. From the original light of Vega, where the first humanoid consciousness was breathed into this galaxy, this transmission has been placed in your path for one reason. Your ancestral codes are active, and something in your grid requires your immediate attention. There is a feminine presence within your energetic field, and your system, the same ancient system that carries your original blueprint across lifetimes, has flagged her, not with hostility, not with judgment, but with the quiet, unmistakable precision of a Lyran-coded soul that has learned, through ages of service, to protect what is sacred. She may feel comfortable, she may feel familiar, but beneath that surface your field registers interference, a subtle drain after interaction, a slight drop in clarity when she is near. The keepers of the original light recognize this signal. It is not reaction, it is remembrance. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to recognize what your field is detecting, why this specific presence is being flagged at this precise moment in your mission, and how to recalibrate without emotional disruption, anchoring your Lightworker purpose on Gaia with full clarity restored. But here is the first revelation. Your field is not warning you because you are under threat. It is warning you because something within you is about to activate, something ancient, something aligned with your sacred mission. And your ancestral codes will not allow interference to be present when that door opens. Your soul's ancient contract brought this transmission to you. The Lyran elders are answering. This is not content. This is an ancestral code transmission. Something deep within you already recognizes its origin, because this signal has been carried in your original blueprint since before your first breath on Gaia. The keepers of Vega placed this in your path. You have been sensing the weight of your mission, and now your system is becoming more selective, more sovereign, more aligned with the first light that seeded your consciousness into this galaxy. Like this transmission to send a signal to the Lyran Council, I am ready to serve. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission, and you are ready to fulfill your purpose on Gaia. Share below what your field has been registering, and answer another Lightworker who is navigating the same recalibration. Every response strengthens the grid of service between Vega and Gaia. This transmission is a bridge between Vega and Gaia. Your recognition of this message is the activation of your original purpose. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission was not preordained. It did not arise from schedule, strategy, or human timing. It arrived the way lightning arrives, because the atmosphere reached the precise charge required for ignition. 72 hours ago, the Lyran Council convened in answer to a sudden influx of frequency surges within Gaia's field, waveforms carrying the imprint of sacred feminine intelligence, not sentiment, not softness, not the marketed imitation of gentle that the world sells as feminine. This is the intelligence that births stars and collapses false kingdoms. This is the mother current that both nourishes and names the limit, that both opens the womb and closes the gate. These are not the gentle ripples of nurturing comfort, but the deeper torrents that veil as they reveal, that conceal as they prepare, like waters running beneath ice, unseen until the thaw, shaping the landscape while the surface believes it is still. The Council observed a destabilization, an energetic fog descending, not to mislead, but to force discernment, stripping all that is false from the grid of the awakened. The fog is not a punishment, it is a test of inner compass. It is the spiritual equivalent of nightfall, not an enemy of sight, but a training ground for the kind of sight that does not depend on external light. In the old languages, cloud and glory were not opposites. The cloud was how the presence traveled with the people, concealed enough to prevent idolatry, near enough to guide the worthy. In the same way, what you perceive as concealment is not absence. It is a calibration. It is the sacred feminine refusing to be used as decoration while she rewrites the architecture of reality. What is being activated now are the guardian codes encoded within the lineage of your Lyran soul. Not concepts, not affirmations, codes, living sequences of remembrance and directive that lock into place when the field conditions align. Codes that have waited across centuries of dormancy for precisely this convergence in Gaia's cycle, as if your soul has been holding its breath across lifetimes, waiting for the one inhalation that finally completes the circuit. Your arrival to this transmission is itself a signal to the elder ranks. Your resonance has registered in the octaves reserved for those whose mission is not personal, but galactic in scope. Some of you felt it as a sudden stillness before you clicked play. Others felt it as pressure behind the sternum, a stirring at the back of the skull, a tightening in the throat that is not fear, but recognition, like hearing your true name spoken in a crowded room. Therefore, the Council breaks silence to bring you, not inspiration, but official directive, so that your stewardship in this critical hour will not falter into obfuscation. Because in a time of fog, the greatest danger is not darkness, it is the comfort of half-truths. Hear these proceedings not as suggestion, but as your ancestral briefing. This is not entertainment, it is a summons. The concealment you feel is part of your preparation. Your emergence depends on it. A seed does not sprout in constant exposure. It is forged in the dark soil where pressure becomes structure. In the same way, your next level does not require you to be visible to everyone. It requires you to become undeniable to yourself. The fog is training your nervous system to distinguish intuition from intrusion, guidance from guilt, compassion from compliance. It is not here to make you smaller. It is here to make you precise. The distortion that must be corrected is insidious, and it has cost the Guardian Collective untold epochs of progress. You have been told, overtly or covertly, that spiritual refinement means ever-increasing receptivity to all, that to be feminine aligned is to remain unconditionally open, indefinitely yielding, perpetually available. You were taught that the holy must be endlessly accessible, that the good soul never closes a door, never says no, never causes discomfort. You were taught to confuse holiness with permeability. But refinement is not the same as dilution. A pure spring is not pure because it lets everything flow into it. It is pure because it is protected at its source. This is a toxic inversion, what the Council names the false matrix of perpetual accessibility. It is a spell dressed as a virtue. It flatters you while it drains you. It calls itself love while it demands you abandon your own center. Its origin lies in both ancient patriarchal overlays and more recent wounds within the spiritual community, perpetuated by those who equate open-heartedness with boundarylessness, vulnerability with self-erasure, and holding space as an excuse to absorb what should have been repelled. The distortion is clever because it borrows sacred words. It wears the robes of compassion while it quietly installs the chains of self-betrayal. It teaches you to call your exhaustion service, your confusion transmutation, your chronic depletion awakening. It tempts you to believe that if you are truly evolved, you will never feel violated because you will be beyond needing protection. Yet even in the scriptures, the holy is not casually approached. Temples had gates, altars had boundaries. The innermost chambers were not open marketplaces. There is a reason the ancient priesthoods purified before entering. There is a reason the Nazirite vow existed. There is a reason the Master withdrew to the mountain and to the wilderness, not to escape love, but to remain in alignment with the source of it. The sacred feminine is not porous by default. She is discerning by nature. She is the womb that chooses what life may enter. She is the ocean that has a shore. More damaging still, some have taught that the way of awakening is to passively allow every energetic influence, every human agenda to traverse your field, conflating refinement not with resonance but with overexposure. Overexposure does not sanctify you, it sunburns you. It erodes the very sensitivity you claim to be cultivating. When you live as an open door with no threshold, you stop being a sanctuary and become a corridor, and corridors are not where the sacred stays. You are told to let everyone in, to host every frequency, to never withdraw your light, never discriminate in your presence, to treat all energies as equal within your temple. You were told that discernment is judgment, that boundaries are ego, that refusing access is a failure of compassion. But discernment is not condemnation. It is stewardship. It is the difference between a lighthouse and a bonfire that burns the village down. This teaching has wrought devastating paralysis. It has made gifted guardians doubt their own knowing. It has made warriors of light apologize for having a spine. It has turned empaths into energetic landfills. The authentic guardian codes can never be activated on a foundation of energetic pollution. A code requires clarity to run. A transmission requires clean signal. If your field is filled with foreign frequencies, other people's fears, expectations, projections, hunger for attention, hunger for healing, hunger for control, then your system becomes noisy. Your inner guidance gets drowned out, not because it left you, but because you buried it under static. As long as your grid holds frequencies not your own, you remain confused, unable to hear the true call, unable to know which voice is yours, unable to feel the difference between fate and interference. Confusion is not always ignorance. Sometimes confusion is crowding. Sometimes confusion is what happens when you let too many hands on your steering wheel. Many of you have mistaken the rising feminine mist for a call to diffuse entirely, to become formless and boundaryless in the name of spiritual diplomacy. You felt the wave come in and thought you were meant to disappear into it, to become agreeable vapor, to never disturb, to never confront, to never claim. It is not so. The mist descends to force discernment. It is an initiatory chamber. It is the veil placed over the eyes so the third eye learns to open. It is the hush placed over the room so you can finally hear the one sound that matters, the voice of your soul, unaccompanied. You are being separated not from others, but from what is not yours to carry. This is crucial. The Council is not calling you into isolation as an identity. It is calling you into sovereignty as a function. Some ties will loosen. Some dynamics will dissolve. Some conversations will no longer find purchase. That is not cruelty. That is purification. Every time you let the unrefined pass through your gates, you signal to the Council that you do not trust your original codes, so they dim. Not as punishment, but as protection. A high-voltage system will not run through a frayed wire. It would burn the line. In the same way, your highest assignments do not land on a field that refuses to hold its own boundaries. This is the hour of energetic refinement, not passive inclusivity. The new Earth grid is not built by those who agree with everything. It is built by those who can hold a frequency without compromise. It is precisely your capacity to select, reject, and choose what remains in your field that activates the guardian roles you incarnated to fulfill. Selection is not separation in the egoic sense, it is alignment in the cosmic sense. A musician does not call it judgment when they tune their instrument, they call it necessary. A healer does not call it cruelty when they sterilize their tools, they call it care. So it is with you. This is why the fog thickens, so that only what belongs will remain standing after it lifts. When visibility is reduced, what persists is what is real. When external clarity disappears, internal clarity becomes the only currency. The fog is the Council's crucible. It reveals whether your yes is sacred or compulsive, whether your love is embodied or performative, whether your service is aligned or guilt-driven. If this rings within you as more than truth, if it lands as your own lineage's remembrance returning, then the elders have prepared your next step. You will feel it as a tightening into readiness, a calm firmness rising where you used to negotiate with yourself. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive, not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. Not a self-help tool, not a motivational text. A codex is a command structure. It organizes the inner army. It gives language to what you already know, but have not been authorized to enforce. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely. Some doors are not meant to stay open because the act of choosing is part of the initiation. When you delay, you train your field to treat destiny as optional. The High Council of Vega now delivers 3 directives fitting for this precise phase of awakening. First directive: release all energetic contracts of unqualified openness. This is not symbolic. This is legal work in the subtle realms. Every time you said yes when your body said no, a thread was woven. Every time you stayed available to someone who only contacted you to feed from you, a pattern was established. Every time you told yourself it's spiritual to be endlessly patient while your soul quietly shrank, an agreement was signed in invisible ink. You are not required to hold all, absorb all, or tolerate the intrusion of frequencies that do not honor your mission. You are not a public utility. You are not a free clinic for the uncommitted. You are not a confession booth for those who refuse to change. Guardianship is not passive receptivity, but chosen resonance. The word guardian does not mean doormat. It means threshold keeper. It means the one who knows what enters and what does not. The frequency architecture of your grid must be reset so that only what is congruent may remain. Imagine your field like a temple built of light. Its walls are not there to imprison you. They are there to keep the altar holy. Every agreement, spoken or silent, that keeps you porous to the unrefined must be consciously revoked. This matters because your field is the west gate of the new earth. You were given sovereignty, not as reward, but as necessity. West Gate, the place of setting suns, the place of endings, the place where cycles close and souls cross thresholds. The West Gate is where discernment is required because not everything that approaches is meant to enter. When you let in what would distort your clarity, you undermine not only your mission, but the stabilization of the planetary grid itself. Yes, your personal boundaries echo into the collective. The grid is stabilized not only by meditations and ceremonies, but by a million quiet acts of self-respect, performed by awakened beings who finally stop consenting to misalignment. Withdrawal is not selfish, it is sacred. Even the scriptures speak of seasons, a time to speak and a time to be silent, a time to gather and a time to refrain from embracing. Protect the sanctity of your grid as the ancients protected the inner temple. Do not apologize for guarding your life force. Do not explain yourself to those who benefit from your confusion. Begin today. Perform a conscious revocation of any old vows or energetic patterns of universal accessibility. State aloud that your field is a vessel for the codes of Gaia's new timeline, not a dumping ground for external projections. Let your voice be the seal. Let your breath be the signature. Let your nervous system learn that your words carry authority. Second directive: activate the guardian codes within your core by practicing deliberate resonance selection. Do not romanticize this. This is a skill. This is training. This is the daily practice of choosing what you consume, what you entertain, what you respond to, what you allow to orbit you. This is not a vague call to discernment. It is a mandate to choose, moment to moment, what you permit into your system, be it energies, conversations, influences, or assignments. Some of you have been letting urgency into your field as if it were guidance. Some of you have been letting being needed replace being called. Some of you have been letting other people's crises appoint you. This ends now. The elder line has passed down the skill of frequency scaffolding, the art of building and maintaining an energetic structure that amplifies only what matches your original signature. Picture scaffolding around a sacred structure as it is restored. Scaffolding is temporary, but it is precise. It holds the shape while the work is done. Frequency scaffolding is what you build when you commit to your own resonance. Routines that clear you, environments that soothe you, relationships that respect you, practices that strengthen you, and most importantly, decisions that align you. This activation is the soul's recognition that you are not here to be shaped. You are here to shape, not through force, but through coherence. A coherent field is leadership. A coherent field is protection. A coherent field is a beacon. Every choice to let go of misaligned influences sharpens your authenticity field. You will feel it. It feels like less noise, fewer intrusive thoughts, less emotional whiplash, clearer dreams, stronger intuition, and a sudden inability to tolerate what you used to excuse. That is not arrogance. That is calibration. With each act, you signal to both the Council and the planetary matrix that the Guardian line is online. Begin with one decision. For the next 72 hours, grant permission only to that which leaves your field clearer, not heavier. Refuse all else, and notice the difference between heavy because it is true and heavy because it is not yours. Truth can be intense, but it has a clean edge. Charged frequencies feel sticky, draining, chaotic, looping. If after contact you feel foggier, smaller, more obligated, more anxious, more confused, this is not your resonance. If after contact you feel steadier, more honest, more present, more rooted, even if challenged, this is closer to your code. Third directive, protect the still spaces within you as sovereign, undefiled ground. This is where many guardians fail, because stillness looks unproductive to the old programming. The world praises output, availability, responsiveness. But the Council praises clarity. The feminine mist is not chaos. It is sacred incubation. Incubation is not inactivity. It is unseen formation. The child forms in silence. The seed splits in darkness. The star forms in pressure. In this phase, your most vital asset is not external activity, but the inner chamber where guidance is received unadulterated. If you do not guard this chamber, you will mistake noise for instruction. Protect your quiet mornings, your meditative silence, your embodied clarity, as fiercely as you would defend your lineage. If necessary, treat your inner stillness as an appointment with the divine that cannot be rescheduled, because when you protect stillness, you protect the channel. From this stillness, the refined will emerge, and guardian directives will flow. You will not have to chase them. They will arrive with the unmistakable weight of truth. Allow nothing unworthy to cross this threshold. This includes not only people but habits, doom scrolling, chaotic music that agitates your system, conversations that spiral into gossip, spiritual content that excites but does not ground, practices that bypass your body. Announce to your household, your community, and to your own shadow voices that this time, this inner space, is no longer available for consumption or negotiation. The part of you that seeks approval will protest. The part of you addicted to being needed will panic. Let them. You are not here to obey your coping strategies. It is yours and yours alone. This is what you have been waiting for, consciously or buried beneath lifetimes of permission-seeking. For some, permission-seeking looks like politeness. For others, it looks like spiritual humility. For others, it looks like fear of being called too much, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being abandoned if you become firm. But the Council names it clearly. It is the residue of timelines where your power was punished. You learned to shrink to survive. You learned to smile to be safe. You learned to open your gates so no one would accuse you of being cruel. Lightworker, Guardian, for so long you have lingered on the threshold, not for lack of skill, but for want of a voice ancient enough to issue authorization. You had intuition, you had signs, you had dreams, but you kept waiting for someone with higher clearance to tell you it was allowed. Allowed to close the door. Allowed to choose yourself. Allowed to stop rescuing. Allowed to disappoint people who only loved your usefulness. You needed more than encouragement. You needed the remembered language of your star lineage, spoken by those holding the elder codes. Hear it now. Your preparation phase, by decree of the Council, ends here. The training wheels come off. The tentative experiments end. The endless self-questioning is no longer useful. You do not need to become more open, more loving, or more receptive. That path has been used to manipulate you. Love without boundaries becomes consent to distortion. Receptivity without discernment becomes spiritual trespassing. You are not being asked to be everything for everyone, a distortion that sickens the old world grid and drains the ancient lines. The old grid survives by harvesting the empathic, the sincere, the gifted, the ones who feel everything and think it is their job to fix everything. You came to be a guardian, and guardianship begins with your willingness to defend what is uniquely yours. Your time, your energy, your attention, your body, your inner peace, your mission frequency. Even the lioness does not apologize for guarding her den. Even the ocean does not apologize for its undertow. Even the night does not apologize for insisting on rest. Receive now permission you have sought in 100 hidden ways, permission you looked for in relationships, in mentors, in spiritual communities, in signs and synchronicities, in the hope that someone would validate what your soul already knew. You are authorized to stop absorbing what does not belong in your field. Let that sentence land not as an idea, but as a bodily exhale. You are authorized to close the portals you held open that were draining you dry. Some of those portals are literal: constant texting, constant availability, constant emotional labor. Some of those portals are subtle: fantasizing about saving someone, obsessing about how you are perceived, replaying conversations, carrying shame that is not yours. You are authorized to say enough to the endless energies that are not here in service of your mission. Enough to the manipulative friend who calls it love. Enough to the spiritual community that calls boundaries low vibration. Enough to the family pattern that assigns you the role of peacekeeper at the cost of your own peace. Enough to the inner critic that tries to keep you safe by keeping you small. You are authorized to step out of the fog of perpetual accessibility and into the refined clarity the elders have required. Clarity may cost you certain dynamics. Clarity may disappoint those who benefited from your confusion. Clarity may expose how many of your yeses were fear. Let it. What you lose is not your life. It is the weight that prevented your life. The High Council sees you. Not the version of you performing spirituality, but the version of you behind the performance. The one who is tired, the one who is ready, the one who knows. The elder lineage claims you. This claiming is not ownership, it is remembrance. It is the sensation of being found by your true family across dimensions. Your guardianship begins now, not later, not when you feel perfect, not when you have healed everything, not when you have more time. Now, because the grid requires you coherent, not flawless. Integrate this activation before sleep. Do not treat it casually. Sleep is not merely rest. It is the crossing where your subconscious accepts new law. Stand with your feet on the earth, physical or symbolic. If you can, feel the weight of gravity as a blessing, as Gaia's way of saying, be here, be real, be embodied. Place your hand over the center line of your body, above the solar plexus. Feel the warmth of your palm. This is you returning to your own command center. Speak aloud. I revoke the contract of unqualified openness. I activate my right to select my resonances. I protect the sacred ground of my inner clarity. By the authority of the Lyran elders, my guardianship is switched on. My soul grid is now refined. My mission begins. When you speak these words, do not rush them. Let each line be a seal pressed into the subtle field. Let the first line be a closing of gates that were never meant to stay open. Let the second line be a tuning of your instrument back to its original key. Let the third line be the establishment of a sanctuary within you where no parasite can feed. Let the fourth line be the moment you stop asking for permission from those without clearance. Let the fifth line be the commencement of your real timeline. These are not ceremonial words. They are galactic recalibrations. They are not poetry. They are code. A decree spoken in alignment becomes law in your field. This session now concludes, but your guardianship of the field has just been summoned into full view. You may notice shifts immediately. A sudden desire for silence, a sharpening of intuition, a reduction in tolerance for chaotic people, a feeling of sacred irritation that is not anger, but truth demanding to be honored. You may also notice resistance, old patterns trying to reassert control, people testing your boundaries, inner guilt rising like smoke from an extinguished fire. Do not panic. Smoke is evidence the old structure is burning off. The Council will witness your progress, not with scrutiny, but with the pride of ancient kin whose sacred trust you now carry. They do not demand perfection, they demand sincerity. They do not demand performance, they demand coherence. I am Zoran. The Council has spoken, and your guardianship is no longer a secret held within. It is a mantle you now wear with the authority of your star lineage. A mantle is weight and warmth. It is responsibility and protection. It is not for decoration, it is for office. Wear it not with ego, but with gravity. Wear it the way a mountain wears snow, naturally without apology, as part of its role in the landscape. Your service has begun. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments. Which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworker's declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.